It started with a shimmer, an unnatural gleam in the sky. On September 12, 2025, a forgotten satellite instrument, SWAN, picked up something massive, far brighter than it should be, far bigger than we were ready for. They called it C-2025-R2 SWAN. But here's the thing, it wasn't alone. From a completely different corner of space, another object was racing inward. 3I Atlas, two cosmic intruders, arriving within days of each other, one 100x larger, both heading near the sun. And then, everything went dark. Telescopes blacked out, agencies silenced, amateurs warned to stop watching. What are these objects? Why now? And most chilling of all, why does SWAN seem to be chasing Atlas? We may have just witnessed an alien audit in real time. It began as a flicker, barely a ripple on the vast cosmic canvas. On September 12, 2025, the SWAN instrument aboard the SOHO spacecraft recorded an abnormally bright signal in the constellation Aquarius. At first, analysts thought it was a routine comet flare-up. They were wrong. This object, eventually designated C-2025-R2 SWAN, was massive, far brighter than any comet in decades. But the real shock came from its tail, a shimmering spray stretching 2.5 degrees wide across the sky. For context, that's 5 times the width of the full moon, and it glowed with a strange silvery halo. Not dust, not ice, something else. Telescopic spectrographs revealed reflective metallic patterns, specifically nickel and cobalt, elements common in industrial alloys, but rare in natural comets. SWAN wasn't just huge, it was hot, emitting over 10,000 gigawatts of power, more than the combined electrical output of every power plant on Earth. It wasn't just reflecting sunlight, it seemed to be generating energy, then it moved. Deep space observers noticed minute, regular pulses in its trajectory. Not from solar winds. These were microthrusts, controlled, deliberate. Its orbit, when calculated, made jaws drop, 22,554 years. The last time it passed Earth? During the final days of the Ice Age. This wasn't a wandering rock. It was something ancient, something that may have come back. On purpose, who or what is piloting this impossible object? And what could be waiting? Near the sun? While astronomers scrambled to decode the mystery of SWAN, a second anomaly quietly pierced the veil of space. 3I Atlas. No headlines. No media frenzy, just a cold object slipping in from Sagittarius, nearly perpendicular to SWAN's approach. At first glance, it looked like a minor interstellar visitor. But within days, it was clear. Atlas wasn't normal. Spectral scans revealed a nickel-rich body, highly unusual for comets, which typically show iron in abundance. But Atlas had almost no iron. It was nearly pure metal. Then came the emissions. Standard comets release water vapor as they heat. But Atlas? It was releasing CO2, 5 times more than water, like a machine venting gas, not a comet melting in sunlight. Between July and August, Atlas performed the impossible. 3 bursts of acceleration, caught by both amateur and professional observatories. The speed changes were too sharp, too directed, too artificial. Astrophysicist simulations estimated the power required at 10 gigawatts per burst, comparable to a nuclear reactor firing thrusters in deep space. Each burst followed a pattern. Each one felt intentional. Atlas wasn't just falling toward the sun, it was navigating. And then, the most chilling realization. Atlas's path would cross dangerously close to SWAN's. Within a 72-hour window near perihelion. 2 objects. 2 wildly different origins. 1 near simultaneous arrival. Was this a chance encounter? Or are they on a collision course? And why did the skies suddenly go silent just before they met? Just as C-2025-R2 SWAN and 3 Atlas reached their most critical positions, approaching perihelion, the closest point to the sun, the sky went blind. From October 8 to 18, both objects slipped behind the solar glare. This isn't unusual. During solar conjunctions, telescopes on Earth can't safely observe due to intense radiation interference. But this time, something was different. NASA paused its high-resolution tracking systems. The European Space Agency denied new observation proposals. Even private satellites went silent. Internal logs leaked by a whistleblower revealed one chilling directive: data embargo until further assessment. Amateur astronomers, once encouraged to track these objects, were suddenly urged to cease optical pursuits. Astronomical forums were wiped. Data vanished. Some researchers received subtle warnings. Focus elsewhere. But not all complied. A rogue network of amateurs, coordinated across continents, launched a decentralized initiative. Eyes Beyond. Using backyard scopes and automated skywatching software, they stitched together whatever fragments they could. On October 12th, a faint burst of radio noise, repeating in short intervals, was detected emanating from Swan's last known location, too structured to be natural, too faint to triangulate. Moments later, Atlas's predicted trajectory shifted slightly south, just outside the expected corridor. Swan too adjusted by only fractions of a degree, but enough to raise eyebrows. These weren't passive objects being pulled by gravity. Something had changed behind the sun, and we weren't allowed to see it. Were Swan and Atlas meeting, or confronting each other? And who, if anyone, was in control? When Swan and Atlas emerged from behind the sun, they were different. Orbit analysts noticed it first. Swan had changed trajectory, slightly, but unmistakably. Its new path placed it on a gentle intercept course with 3i Atlas. At the same time, Atlas had decelerated, its arc dipping away from its original projection. It looked less like a drift, and more like evasion. Then came the data from amateur radio arrays, regular pulses in Swan's tail, consistent with controlled thrusting. Microjets, adjustments, navigation. This wasn't a free fall through gravity wells. This was intentional steering. Insider sources, people close to NASA's Deep Space Network, claimed Swan's behavior resembled orbital shepherding. But shepherding what? Was it tracking Atlas? Or chasing it? Speculation exploded. One theory painted Atlas as a rogue probe, malfunctioning or veering off mission. Swan could be the intervention unit, dispatched across millennia to intercept, correct, or destroy. Another theory proposed contact, a cosmic relay between two parts of a mission. Data transfer? Resource refueling? No one knew, but a darker idea emerged. What if Swan and Atlas were not companions, but adversaries? Their geometrically perfect meeting window, the silence during the blackout, the radio burst, the evasive maneuvers. It started to feel like a cosmic confrontation, playing out silently in the space just past our reach. And Earth? A bystander in something far older, and far more intelligent. What if this wasn't the first time? Could we be witnessing the latest event in a 22,000-year pattern of surveillance? In 2017, the world briefly turned its gaze skyward as a strange object passed silently through the solar system. Its name, Oumuamua. It was fast. It was tumbling. And, inexplicably, it accelerated as it left without any tail or gas jets. A mystery never solved. An origin never confirmed. 6 years later, Atlas arrives. Then Swan, bigger, stranger, smarter. Each object more deliberate, more engineered. Each seeming to respond to a pattern. Not of the stars, but of us. Radio astronomers now suggest Earth has become louder. Our transmissions piercing space, growing exponentially since the 20th century. Could these objects be reacting to our signals? A slow cascade of probes waking up, checking in. One physicist labeled it the audit chain. Oumuamua scouts, Atlas records, Swan. Evaluates, but it goes deeper. Swan's orbital period, 22,554 years, links it to the last ice age, when strange carvings and megaliths appeared across Earth. Ancient sites like Göbekli Tepe and Lascaux hint at sky events. Cosmic knowledge, were these earlier audits? Did another civilization once face what we are facing now? It's possible we've been seen before, watched, judged, and left to evolve. Or reset, and now, with climate tipping, AI rising and signals screaming into space, we've triggered the next inspection. But what if this isn't an inspection, but the final entry in our file? What if Swan's return marks the moment we've all been waiting for, without ever knowing it? By late October 2025, Swan was still visible, faint on the edge of twilight skies. But 3i Atlas? Gone. No further sightings. No trajectory updates, just silence. Amateur forums buzzed. Where did it go? Some suggested it was destroyed. Others that it had docked with Swan, out of view, hidden behind the sun's glare. But no proof ever surfaced, because proof was being scrubbed. Citizen scientists uploading data began seeing their accounts suspended. Threads on skywatching forums were locked without warning. A YouTuber live-streaming Swan's trajectory analysis suddenly went offline. His video gone, channel flagged, and then came the signal, captured by a civilian radio telescope array in New Mexico. It pulsed in binary, a slow, repeating pattern buried in cosmic static. Too structured to be natural, too weak to analyze. The pattern was traced to Swan's location. Experts scrambled. Was this a malfunction? A beacon? A message? The object, still glowing with that silvery plasma halo, hovered in a strange, stable loop, not leaving. Its orbital path keeps it circling the inner system, With one critical moment fast approaching, December 21st, 2025, the winter solstice. Earth's tilt at maximum. A date steeped in myth, ritual, and now, potential arrival. The last time Swan was this close, humanity was carving symbols in stone. Now, we carve them into code. Some believe this is first contact. Others fear it's a final audit, a countdown to judgment, and still, Swan waits. What if December 21 isn't the beginning, but the verdict? They came in silence. One small, one colossal, one maybe watching, one maybe intervening. We were told they were just comets. But comets don't steer. Comets don't fire thrusters. Comets don't vanish behind the sun and reappear changed. For 22,554 years, Swan circled the void, waiting. And now, it's here. Whether these objects are probes, relics, or warnings, one thing is certain: something knows we're here, and it's watching. Closely. The audit may already be over. But the results? They haven't been delivered yet. What if December 21st isn't just a date, but a deadline? Let us know. Are we being watched or warned?